3, 2, 1. Oh my God, that's cold.
Wow.
Welcome back to You Betcha Radio Podcast, the coldest podcast in all the Midwest. I am Miles, You Betcha Guy, here with Ryan, the T-shirt guy. We got a great episode 79 ahead of you. We're going to talk the top 3 worst things about the weekend. So let's just get into the show.
I would venture to say it's almost the nectar of the gods. Back, baby, back. I want my push. Oh my God, that's cold.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Hello, and welcome back to episode 79 of the You Betcha Radio podcast. I am Ryan, the T-shirt guy. And on today's episode, as Miles said, we're going to talk about, the top 3 worst things about the weekend, which is traditionally a great time for all of us. You know, we are work to weekend type people. We're going to touch a little bit on that later in the show. But first, guys, the merch is wide open. I'm wearing the brand new Breakfast Ball polo. We got the Breakfast Ball hats. We got the new Latte Buzzin' merch in stock. Everything is open on the website at oubetcha.com. That will close down in 1 week, so make sure you go get it while you can. At the same time, guys, we've been going heavy on the Twitch stream. I think we laid it out last night, like 4 days a week, we're on the Twitch stream. Tonight, we're going to be doing the Nectar Cup series, week 9, I believe. And it's always a good time. So you can find that on twitch.tv/oubetcha. We'd love to see you in the chat, converse with you a little bit. And
it's honestly one of the best ways to converse with us.
Yeah.
A lot of people send us DMs. We get a lot of those. It's hard to go through all of them. Twitter is okay, but if you wanna have a conversation with us, you just hit up the Twitch stream and we'll talk to you. So.
We'll be there. So go find us on Twitch tonight, guys. Also, Tyler's been going hard into You Betcha Radio. He's got the Instagram rocking. He's putting together some cool meme style clips and just some cool recaps that we've been doing. And you can find that Instagram at You Betcha Radio. Tyler, you've been doing a good job. I commented on your post yesterday. Fire posts lately.
Yeah. If you enjoy this podcast, you have to go follow You Betcha Radio. Plain and simple. It's like, if you've been following us for a long time now, you are only going to be enhanced of your listening ability or listening experience if you go and follow You Betcha Radio on Instagram. You posting to Facebook too?
Yep.
Follow the Facebook page as well. YouTube's
coming up.
We finally got it rolling for You Betcha Radio, and so go check it out. But guys, first thing I want to talk about today, in all honesty, is one of those things that I hate because I love summer, but in my mind, summer 2020 is over. I'm done with it. There's no events. So usually August is jam packed full of concerts and events and get-togethers and all that. Patio season. It's just, for me, it just feels over.
Sad day, Miles.
I'm ready for fall. Give me some colder weather. I'm sweating here in the studio. I'm over the heat. Let's just move on to fall. Oh, but wait, there's no college football. We'll get into that later. This is a tough time. This is first world problems at its best. I can't go to my concerts. I can't go to the bar. All this stuff.
Miles,
it's tough.
It's a very sad day because I am on board with you, actually. Agreeance number 1 here on episode 79. I feel like the end of summer is typically Labor Day weekend, early September. Crops are coming off.
And some summers it's like, it's been rolling so good that you're like, God, I don't want summer to be over.
Yeah.
Even the week after Labor Day, you're like, God, I so wish it was summer.
Yeah.
This year, I'm done with it. I'm over it.
Well, it's been kind of a weird summer because, like you touched on, all the events have been canceled, but at the same time, we have found other things to keep us just as busy. And we keep talking like, how would we fit all these events into our current schedule? Which we'll figure that out eventually. But at the same time, it's like, it would have been fun to maybe make an appearance at a country music festival or do this or do that. And it's not on the list for the remainder of the summer. So I feel like you and I, at least, are closing down summer 2020 midway through August. and we're just gonna hopefully just roll into fall.
Yeah, I started feeling this way early last week. Finally was able to do that. I'm done with it. I'm over it. I'm over, especially over the heat. I just don't need any more warm weather.
Yeah, and I feel like the air's been getting a little bit crisper.
In the mornings.
60s, high 50s, low 60s when you wake up, which is very nice. But at the same time, come a couple months, 2-3 months from now, we'll be like, God, I miss the heat.
Well, here's what I think too. I got a feeling that let's just get this summer over with. A lot of 2020. Everyone talks about this is the worst year in the last however many years. I would agree it sucks. It sucks. But to put things in perspective, it could be a lot worse.
True.
1. 2, I think that the fall we're gonna see. It's tough. I just try to see some more like upswing on everything that's been going on and maybe stuff that isn't as negative, but we don't have college football now. I think the NFL is still going to roll.
I hope so.
But it just doesn't feel like we're getting any closer to opening more and more things up. I know that some places are, but I just...
Not the same. It's not the same.
Have you guys noticed, I don't know, is it just me, that the older we get, the shorter summer seems, or is that just a product of the pandemic, do you think? Because I feel like this summer we're so short, but I also felt like in high school summers lasted forever.
Yeah. I kind of feel like it's felt short just because we've been so busy.
True.
Yes, we're getting a little bit older in age. There are certain things that we could do when we were younger that we probably wouldn't do in our late 20s. So that might make it feel shorter, but like I said,
I don't know if it felt that short. I don't know.
It felt short to me.
I mean, it felt normal to me, but I feel like when you're younger, it goes faster because you want more and more of it. And usually when you want more and more of it, it's like the classic when you're on your way to a vacation, feels like it takes forever to get there. And then the way back feels like nothing.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. So it feels like, but the opposite.
Flip it. Yeah.
So you want more of it. So it feels like less. And now it's like, I couldn't give a shit if it was summer or not. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love summer. But that from September to November, I think might be my favorite time of the year.
Really?
Yeah, I think, and I don't remember what we talked about our favorite seasons on this podcast. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that I said I love summer, but like early fall is.
I think we all said fall.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
I don't remember, but all I got to say is let's just get this August over with. I'm done with it. Let's just wrap it up and let's move on to fall. Let's get some crisp air. Let's get some football going. I don't know what that's going to look like.
Visit some bush apple orchards.
Maybe visit some bush apple orchards. Let's get the orange cans, bush light cans in circulation. Let's go hunting. Let's just get on to the fall.
Do you guys remember? I think it was like in early March. Maybe we had a really nice week. The day that we changed Lakin's tire. Miles was getting spring fever. I think it was a Friday afternoon. God, we were just all feeling the nice weather coming on.
We didn't do a single thing that day.
Nope. Went to an early happy hour, and that was kind of like the kickoff of the nice weather leading into summer. And now, to me, that feels like yesterday. And now we're on the opposite end of the spectrum.
You know what? Actually, I maybe just need to get out and enjoy the nice weather a little more.
Maybe.
I've been spending so much time in this box.
Yep.
That maybe it's not that I'm done with summer, is I mostly just maybe need a break from being in the office.
Yeah.
Well, I might take a week vacation next week. I'll let you guys fend for yourself.
Easy.
And I actually now have completely flipped in this one segment to where it's not a summer problem. It's a me problem.
A you problem.
It's a me problem.
get out, enjoy the nice things in life, Miles, because we don't get a whole lot of nice, crazy good weather in the Midwest.
Yeah, you guys can do the Nectar Cup series tonight. I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
I'm just going to go enjoy the nice weather.
Go for a walk or a hike, Miles. We all know you love hikes so much.
Yeah.
Get
Yep.
outside.
Big hiker.
I'll maybe go for a ride. Just windows down, go for a ride, cruise around,
End up at DQ.
end up at DQ. I need to maybe go for a drive with the windows down.
Yeah, that's a great time to do it right now when you turn the AC off, windows go down, sunroof maybe goes back, and get a nice little mini,
Not
mini
to
blizzard.
brag, he's got a sunroof.
You don't have a sunroof?
I don't have a sunroof.
Ooh, Miles. I have a sunroof.
Bummer.
I know you do.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
You should get a
but
sunroof.
I don't know why I don't have a sunroof.
You might have to
You know
just
what?
get one
Actually,
put
I
in.
want a moonroof.
Yeah.
I want a moonroof. Isn't that the one that goes all the way back?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I want a moonroof.
Yep.
Get a convertible.
Send it all the way. I want a convertible truck.
Yep. A Jeep.
Great for looking
That's
at
a
the
Jeep.
stars at night. You know what you need to do? You might
Maybe
need
that
to just,
I would enjoy summer more if I had a convertible truck.
Yeah, you might need to just go out into the country, dirt road, pull off onto approach, put the tailgate down, and just look up at the stars and
Slug a few beers.
slug a few beers. Yep. And
This turned into a Jake Owen song real fast.
yeah. Yep. Country music song.
Start a
Miles.
bonfire out in the field, even though I don't own the field.
Yep.
Just trespassing on someone else's land. But that's what a country song is, so we might as well.
Yeah, I think you do need some R&R in your life, some rest and relaxation.
I got to get maybe a hobby. You guys got any advice of hobbies you think I'd like?
Miles needs a hobby.
You could pick up the guitar. You already know how a little bit, right?
Well, I've been through that phase of my life.
Well, bring
Not
your
gonna
guitar.
happen.
Bring your guitar to the dirt road.
Yep.
And
strum a few chords and
Yep.
then call her good.
yep,
Set the mood.
maybe get your gal out there with you.
Yep.
Actually, no, you just
This is not a hobby. I want some hobbies, guys. He said guitar. Already tried that in my life. Not gonna happen. Not talented enough for that.
You used to be a longboarder back in the day, didn't you?
I did have a longboard. That was a very small phase. I'm a big time phase guy. That was in college. Not gonna be a longboarder.
Okay, so axe that hobby.
Yep.
Well, you do have the
Close-up
hobby.
magic.
Close up magic, absolutely not. My brother likes magic, and I will never be into magic because of that.
I feel like your one hobby right now is playing video games.
I do
on
like to play
Twitch.
video games,
But
but that's here.
We need
Yes.
an
That's-
outside one.
And video games has now turned into part of my job, and so that ruined that hobby.
So my hobby is mowing the lawn. I really enjoy mowing the lawn.
I know you love talking about it.
So that'll be in your near future,
Yeah.
unless you hire me to come do it for you.
Nope. Got to
oh,
mow your own lawn.
Okay. Well, we can axe that one.
Yeah.
Next podcast, we might just have to say, Miles, these are the top 3 hobbies that we think you should do,
That would actually maybe be a good podcast next week.
and see how many of them get axed and how many of them stick.
You guys come up with a list, and then maybe I could actually try one of them, and then I can give you guys updates.
Yeah.
So Charlie Barron's the bird watcher.
yeah.
He picked up that hobby.
Yep.
We're gonna try and get him back on the podcast. See the update on the bird watching. See how that's been going. Maybe we can start doing that. I got to find a hobby. I got to enjoy the weather and not cancel summer.
When I think one hobby in probably the next month or so, we're gonna have to get you out hunting more than you have in the past. Because
That's true.
I think you would. I think you'd really enjoy it. Again, you get to enjoy
Well,
the
I don't want to
nice
show
fall
you
weather.
up, but
I was gonna pitch. You can shoot your bow with us, but you haven't bow hunted before, correct?
correct.
That could be.
It's
a
not
think
because
you
I
really
don't
like
want
bow
to.
hunting?
No, I think you would like it.
We'll have to maybe pick that up. Maybe
I
I'll
do
just go buy a bow this week and we
Yeah.
can start shooting it.
We'll start them off with the recurve though. Probably easiest one to shoot.
It is, but it's
Nah.
it's easiest to shoot, but it's the hardest to aim.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. I'll go buy whatever one and we can start shooting.
Tyler, you and I will design like our dream bow together, and then we'll pass that on to Miles and
Make
that-
me buy it.
Yep.
and then make
And you
Miles
guys
buy
can
it.
use it.
We'll live vicariously through you.
Yeah. Well, Miles, my draw length is about 28 and a half. So if we could stick at that, that'd be great. Just in case, I have issues with mine down the road.
Yeah. We'll have to get into that.
I do think you'd like bow hunting.
So the tough part about bow hunting is you got to be really patient, right?
But you can, when you're waiting, sitting there doing nothing, you can go on your phone, you can do all that. And it's kind of just like a listening game. If you can hear something coming off off to your side or in the distance, then you're like, okay, now it's go time. But in the meantime, I mean, bring the phone out, turn the volume down and do what you typically
Turn your
do.
volume off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Leave it off.
I don't think that you're a very good bow hunter, Ryan, if you're using a volume on your phone.
Oh, no, you turn the volume down, like all the way.
Oh. I thought he
yeah.
meant, I thought he meant just to a quiet level.
That's what I
No.
did too. I was like, Ryan, no.
Ryan's scrolling on TikTok and
Classic bougie ratchet.
Yeah, that would spoil a hunt real quick. You know, God, I'm getting jacked about this idea.
yeah, we'll put that on the list.
Yeah.
We'll put that on the list. Maybe think about it. Maybe
Breakfast bows.
Yep, I need a breakfast arrow. Missed my first shot,
Yep.
so give me another shot at it.
breakfast arrow. Doesn't roll the same as
It
breakfast
doesn't.
ball.
It doesn't.
All right. I like where this is going. Tyler, you got to write this down. We're
I'm on it.
gonna make this in the next episode.
Tyler, Operation Find Miles a hobby.
I've been trying to find a hobby for years. It doesn't work. So
And I feel like this started out as a hobby for you right away, but it's obviously evolved into something. It's a
your job
7
now.
day a week. You're never not thinking about it. Bow hunting to me resonates a lot with taking a drive where you're just by yourself. You got a lot of time to think, creative ideas. And you know, the benefit of it is you might have a deer walk across and
And the worst case scenario is you just get time to sit in the woods all peaceful and think. That's
Yep.
worst case scenario.
all right.
Have you ever done
okay, well, let's save it for next podcast, guys. Jeez, we got to get on in the next segment.
have you
here.
ever done a float tank?
like
Like a salt,
the salt
thing.
float
Yeah.
tank? No.
I feel like it kind of it lines up with that just a little bit. Just very.
All right,
Very
we'll save this
relaxed.
for the next podcast.
I'm jacked about this.
I can tell. Guys, we're going to take our first break and we're going to talk the top 3 worst things about the weekend. I know the weekend is beloved. I know the weekend is your time to have to yourself. But as we always do, we always take the lighter side of everything. We always like to shine light on things that are maybe dark. And so that's why we're going to talk about the top 3 worst things about the weekend. Guys, I know that you love your weekends. I love my weekends. Tyler, do you love your weekends?
I do love my weekends.
Ryan, do you love your weekends?
I love the weekends.
Everyone loves their weekends, but once in a while, they're not all they cracked up to be, in my opinion. There are, as always, some negative things about something that you love. And we're going to dive into that right now. We're going to talk the top 3 worst things about the weekend. And I'm excited. I have no idea what you guys are going to say. I got my list. Ryan, I want you to start her off. What's your number 3 worst thing about the weekend?
Miles, my number 3 worst thing about the weekend is that Sunday nights are typically the best, nicest nights of the whole entire weekend. Just when you're about to go home from the lake or go home from some weekend plans, you don't really fully get to enjoy it.
The weather's perfect.
Yes. Yep.
There's no wind ever.
Yep.
The sunset is beautiful.
Give me that on a Saturday.
I know that Tyler loves beautiful sunsets.
I'm
Yes.
a big sunset guy.
I have a feeling like a beautiful Sunday sunset is how he ended up with his child.
I would have to agree with that. I mean, it's plain and simple. Pretty easy into that.
I'm not going to confirm nor deny.
I thought you would do that.
Yep.
Yep, I'm going to play politician here.
Yep. So I would say, like, give me that night on a Saturday where I can, enjoy it as long as I want. I'm staying in the spot I am currently at, whether that's the lake or wherever. But Sunday night, when you got to drive home from somewhere and it's the nicest day of the weekend, I hate that. I also love it at the same time, but I hate it.
I feel that.
I think a lot of these are going to be, I love it, but I also hate it.
Yes. Yep.
Not mine.
All right.
Miles, let's hear the number 3 worst thing.
My number 3, I want to just get this one out of the way. Mostly when your weekend goes into your week, in that on Saturday you get way too drunk.
Yep.
I'm talking you are maybe feeling a little nauseous, and you were time traveling on Saturday night, didn't know where you were. You wake up on Sunday, you feel like crap. You wake up on Monday, you feel like crap. You wake up on Tuesday, you feel like crap.
You're
Wednesday,
really hitting her hard.
Wednesday, maybe around 2-3 p.m., all of a sudden you're starting to feel better.
Yep.
You don't ever, here's what, in my opinion, when you're like, hey, man, I'm going to drink a lot tonight, you end up not drinking that much.
Yeah.
But it's the times where you're like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just going to go out, is when you end up that intoxicated.
Yes.
To the point where you are feeling it on Wednesday still.
Yeah. The stuff that's unplanned is always just turns out to be way better.
So I there's a certain tipping point, and going over the tipping point on a Saturday. So Friday, isn't as bad. You can kind of recover, maybe midway through Tuesday, you're feeling okay.
Yeah.
But that Saturday, man, it goes all the way into the next week. You're just feeling terrible. That is the number 3 worst thing about the weekend.
Well, and then, could be 3 days later that you're in that same scenario and you're like, holy smokes, why do I keep doing this?
You're hungover for half the week.
Yeah. Half the month.
Yeah.
Literally 20 days out of 30 days you are hungover.
Yes.
So my number 3 is pretty similar to Miles, but it is the bank account hangover the day after really drinking
yeah.
Good
hard
one,
Saturday.
Tyler. Good one.
You check.
Maybe you got some friends that wanted to go to the more expensive bar.
Right. You check your pocket in the morning and it's just filled with ATM receipts.
And then you ask yourself, where did I spend all this money? I came in with $150 cash and I'm down to like 38.
And plus I have all these receipts in my pocket. Where did that money go? That should be in my wallet.
What gets me is I'm the guy who starts feeling good,
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'll buy everyone around.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want shots on it too? Yeah, put it on the tab. And then you look at the tab and it's like $200.
Because at that point, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night, when you're doing that, it doesn't matter.
You have zero worries in the world.
Nope.
And I think that's pretty much about what every breakup country song is about right there.
Yes. Yep.
Saturday night, you got zero worries when you're heavily intoxicated.
But all that means though is you had a hell of a time. So it's one of those love-hate things.
Right.
Like, I had a blast, but I spent a shitload of money.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you'll make that money back.
Yeah.
And like I said, you're not thinking about it Saturday, but yes, you start asking yourself questions Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's tough. God,
one, Tyler.
that sucks. Yeah, the weekend sucks, man. You work all week to spend all your money on weekend.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right.
Work
Ryan.
to weekend. Miles, my number 2 worst thing about the weekend is having too many plans going into the weekend.
You son of a bitch.
Sorry. Sometimes you just want to sit on the couch and do nothing. In my case, sometimes I just wanted to maybe take half a day to mow the lawn. Sometimes I don't get that opportunity to do that. And then you're just swamped Sunday night or Monday night or whatever that may be, doing all these things on your own time that you wish you could have done on the weekend. But at the same time, again, it's always a love-hate. It's like I love having plans and I love hanging out with my friends and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes I just want to sit on the couch, and sometimes I want to go in with no plans. And when you go in with no plans, it's typically when you start making plans just off of a whim, Friday night, Friday afternoon, whatever that may be. It's like,
I'm a big no plans on the weekend guy.
Yeah.
Because you're going to do something. It's not that you're not going to do
Right.
anything.
Right.
Which is going to lead into my number 2. But it's just having the freedom that whatever you're feeling in that moment you're going to do is just a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Being on your own time.
yours is very similar to my number 1. Which we'll dive into. I'm going to still roll with it. But my number 2, Ryan, is a little bit opposite of that, is that you have wasted an entire weekend doing absolutely nothing. So there's like
Very
this
good
fine
point.
line from doing too much and I'm not going to lie, doing a day of binge watching a show is great.
Yep.
You got to save that for the rainy weekends. though.
Yeah, right. So it's when you're like, maybe you drank too much on Friday, you wake up on Saturday, you're like, I'm not going to do shit today. And you start binge watching a show. You all of a sudden it's midnight. You woke up at 9 and you've been watching it the whole day.
Yeah.
Ordered food all day long. You wake up, But here's the thing is you still got another season left in the show or whatever. So then you got to do that again on Sunday. And next thing you know, you've wasted 2 days of your weekend. You didn't do anything all weekend long. That is the worst. Everything in moderation. I have done that. That is so here's the thing. Another fine line. I have done weekends in the fall where I sit from Friday night until Sunday evening. I've watched football from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, because on Saturday they have the West Coast games, the Pac-12. They go until 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Mm-hmm. And then on Sunday, those games go till 10:30, 11 at night for the late night games. I love it, but at the same time, on Sunday night, you're like, I haven't done a thing all weekend long. I should have done at least something.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to break it to you, Miles, but you're probably not going to get a whole lot of those weekends this fall.
R.I.P. Why'd you have to say that?
R.I.P. We're going to dive into that.
We'll dive into that.
Cue the Sarah McLaughlin.
Yes.
Have you guys done that before?
Yes.
Saturday, Sunday, all football?
I'm more, not football for me, UFC for me.
Oh my God.
like 4 p.m.
I knew he'd work UFC into this somehow.
Like 4 or 5 p.m. on a Saturday until midnight or 1 o'clock.
I'm talking 11 a.m. till midnight. I'm talking.
Well, even before that, if you're going to watch game day.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you get up for game day, dude, we're talking all day long. Have you done that, Tyler?
Once or twice. I'm not usually. I like college football, but I only watch it if there's a real big game, or I only watch the Gophers. So Sundays, very often do I watch football the entire day. But Saturdays, I usually just watch the Gophers.
I love college football so much.
You ever?
This is gonna be. We'll dive into it. We'll dive into it.
What do you guys feel like when you get off of the couch after you're a full weekend of just sitting there, but then you get off the couch after about 3-4 hours just to get some
you
food?
got bed sores.
Yeah. What do you? The feeling of getting off the couch, you're in maybe just a sweatshirt and shorts, and you're kind of like a little grimy, a little sweaty. The hair's getting a little greasy.
Oh yeah, you haven't showered since God knows when.
No, that to me, like, just keep me on the couch. I don't want that feeling of getting up and feeling that.
You don't want to be held accountable for the time you've wasted.
Yes.
Also, though, you're right on the attire. That is like the uniform for watching football on your couch is a sweatshirt and shorts.
And maybe
no socks. Maybe, I'm not wearing socks.
No. Maybe hood up for like the beginning of
big time, because your hair is disgusting because you haven't showered.
You're not gonna wear a hat while you're laying on the couch.
Yeah.
Glasses. If you guys don't wear glasses, but it's always glasses for me on the weekends.
Don't even bother. I would even venture to say don't even bother brushing your teeth.
Some days.
You're just gonna dirty those teeth up again in 5 seconds with some wings.
Yeah.
You're ordering DoorDash 3 times that day.
Domino's. You order Domino's. You smash an entire medium pizza maybe by yourself. And then for whatever reason, you thought it was a good idea to order the like Cinna bread that comes with the icing. And like, you're so full, but you're like, I have to have this. And you eat like 5 of those sticks and you're ready to vomit.
Yeah.
But you just get to lay there the whole entire day. So you're good to go.
Yeah.
So
I've done that a few times.
Yeah. About my number 3.
Number 2, Tyler.
Number 2. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's pretty similar to your guys', but it's what comes before that. It's the mental battle of trying to decide if I'm going to do productive shit this weekend or just have fun and do nothing this weekend. So you have to sit there. Either way, at the end of it, you're going to regret not doing one or the other.
You don't do both?
No. It's
one or the other.
Either I'm going to like the woods and I'm getting food plots ready and I'm going to be productive and get my lawn mowed and get some shit organized at the house. Or I'm going to go play golf with my buddies all weekend and I'm going to drink, I'm going to grill, and I'm going to have a bonfire that night. It's never a combination of the two. And then no matter what, on Sunday, I regret not doing the other thing.
Yeah. See, I always get my stuff done in the morning / early afternoon.
I sleep
but
in
when
every
I
weekend.
say morning, I mean starting at like 9-10 a.m.
Okay.
That is still very very early.
But I'll crank it all out.
On Saturday, I'm not waking up before 10.
And then I feel so good that I was able to get that done. I have no regret of just sitting there for the rest of the night, the rest of the weekend, whatever that may be. And I think it's a good balance. I am
notorious for big time planning for the weekend. in terms of how productive I'm going to be, Tyler.
And then not,
And not doing
it.
a single fucking
Yeah.
thing.
So Miles, if you go into the weekend with like your plan is to have no plans and just sit around, do nothing. If something pops up, someone shoots you a text, or you want to go out and have a couple beers, whatever, will you shy away from original plan A for plan B to meet up with those plans? Or are you saying, hey, no, sorry, super busy tonight, even though you're not? And
Well, it all depends on the mood.
Okay.
If I've been
Or who's
watching,
asking too.
who's asking?
Okay.
If I have been just eating, snacking food all day and I feel like garbage, there's no way I'm going out that night.
yeah.
But yeah.
So what excuse do you use to not to deflect those plans?
I'm not like a liar excuse guy. I oftentimes will just be like, hey, I'm not going out
Gotcha.
tonight.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah. Not to say I probably have made up a ridiculous excuse of some sort.
Yeah.
But
Hey, just have a kid, and then you don't have to do anything
I know
ever if
that's
you
a
don't
whole
want
nother
to.
segment of
Yeah.
how much people with kids act like they can't do a single thing because they have a child.
It's
That's a
the
whole
perfect excuse. I've gotten out of so much shit this summer that I didn't want to do.
You just text someone back, say, hey, no,
sorry.
I have a
I
kid.
gotta watch my kid.
Not even you have to watch your kid. You just have a kid. Yeah,
Just,
I have a
just
kid. Sorry.
respond, kid.
Yeah.
You can't get by with that here though, because you told us that you have a built-in babysitter that lives at your house.
Yeah, which is why I
Which is
very
your
rarely
roommate.
leave work. Yesterday was the first time in a month, I think.
Yeah. Midwest Giselle is going to be gunning for your job if
Well,
you keep leaving early like
Well, if he keeps partying, he's gonna have a couple of his own. So
Yeah. He also
that.
had
Did he go partying this weekend? or what?
probably, I don't know what Gen Z's doing these days.
Giselle also got strike one last night, Tyler. So you better feel good about that.
He didn't record on anything.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
but he got it back. He did get the recording back. That's for a different conversation.
Well, it gets, yeah. Anyways. All right, Ryan, what's your number one
My number one
worst thing about the weekend?
worst thing about the weekend is going into it thinking I'm going to catch up on sleep and then being more tired after I try and catch up on sleep.
You mean being up till like 4 a.m. drinking with your buddies?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, it's fine that I'm up till 2
I may
a.m.,
or may
3
not
a.m.
have done that last weekend.
Yeah, and that's fine because you know what? I can sleep in. I can still get my 8 hours. I can still sleep till 9, 10, 11, whatever that may be. But your routine is completely thrown off. Your body is so affected because you don't wake up at 9 or 10 a.m. typically. And this whole thing of, yeah, this is the weekend. I'm going to catch up on sleep. I'm going to feel great. You don't catch up on sleep, which I don't even think is a thing, and you feel like shit afterwards.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's back to that love-hate. You had a good time losing that sleep.
Yes, you did.
It sucks, but it's such a...
The top 3 love-hate things about the weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, God, I am notorious for getting terrible sleep on the weekend.
Yeah.
And then I just pay for it all week long.
Yeah, it's the worst.
But
It's
like
almost
I said, on Saturday, I sleep till 10 a.m., but I'm also up till like 3 in the morning.
Do you ever nap on the weekends?
I am not a big napper, but I do once in a while. Sometimes I just finally tap out and just say, I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I have that FOMO where if I'm at like the lake and everyone's drinking and stuff and I want to take a nap, I feel like I'm missing out on something, even though I'm really not.
Agreed.
But yeah, so I feel that. Okay, so my number one is a little bit like what you said, but we're busy here, right? We're busy doing stuff all week long. Nothing's worse than getting to the weekend and you're busier than the week.
Yes.
The weekend is supposed to be a relaxation period, recover for the week. And you gotta maybe there's like a day trip planned on Saturday to wherever. You gotta wake up early, and then once you get there, there's a whole itinerary of stuff you gotta do.
Hiking.
You're running here, running there. We gotta go to this bar at this time to meet up with them for appetizers, but then we actually have to go to someone else's house to see them and blah, 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 blah. And it's just an entire weekend is so jam-packed full of crap and stuff that it feels like you get to the end of the weekend and you're actually exhausted from running around everywhere.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yep. I can get so on board with that, which is why it's like
There's a perfect balance between being too busy and not doing anything. Somewhere in the middle is the best, in my opinion, on the weekend.
God. I don't think any of us have mastered that balance yet.
No, I don't think anyone
I don't know if we ever
can.
will.
Yeah.
Especially having a kid, Tyler. That'd be tough because you're on their time, not yours.
Yeah.
But yes, Miles, it's like
I'm a complicated weekend guy. I like to go into a weekend with no plans, but I don't want to not do anything, but I don't want to do too much, but I want to drink and have a good time, but I don't want to get too drunk to the point where I am still feeling it on Wednesday. So it's a complicated, it's a weird formula to get the perfect weekend for me.
so. Not only do you have decision fatigue during the week, you also kind of put that on yourself for the weekend, and that goes for anybody. Just having to make so many decisions on whether you want to do this or plan this or do this or do that.
I've never
It's
heard
just
that
like-
term.
I don't
Decision fatigue?
You
I
see
kind of
my
like it though. Yeah.
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 Did you see my face? I was like trying to calculate what that even means.
Yeah, just having to make too many decisions in a short period of time.
I do get a little decision fatigue when Ryan's constantly walking up to me about merch questions.
Yep.
And you can probably feel when I'm finally just like, I want to answer this question tomorrow because
Yep.
I'm over picking colors and shit
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm a complicated weekend guy. I like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but not too much of this and not too much of that.
Just a love hate.
Yeah.
Such a love hate. Tyler, I'm curious to hear your number one.
So this is, I think, the only one for me that I know is a just a hate. I don't love it ever.
Okay, here we go.
Day trips. A trip where you're going to go somewhere, you're driving like 45 minutes, but you know you have to go back home that night.
I'm not there.
I hate them because
I would much rather do a day trip than leave. Let's say it's a 5-hour drive. So maybe you leave on Friday and you get there at night after work. So you get in there at 10 p.m. So nothing happens. You stay in a hotel. You wake up the next day. You do stuff all day, but you're not going to drive home that night because you stayed long enough. Then you got to stay in a hotel again. And then you get up in the morning on Sunday, maybe at 10, and then you spend 5 hours in the car and the whole day is gone. So an entire weekend's gone, but essentially you were only doing stuff for one day.
yeah, that's
So-
the worst.
What I'm dialing in here on like the hour and a half, 2-hour drive day trip where you drive somewhere. It's not that big of a deal to drive an hour, but you get there and you spend all day, you're trying to have fun, but you just know in the back of your head, all right, I got to take off at this time to make sure I'm home whenever I need to be. I can't drink too much on that day trip that's supposed to
Yeah.
be fun because I got to
The
get
drinking
back.
thing's tough, but I love that, to be honest.
So what's your cutoff time as far as like having to come back from a day trip to where you can't really do anything later that night?
I'm notorious for if I'm on a day trip and I know I have to go home, I'm trying to make that thing as short as possible.
You're trying to get back
Exactly.
at like 3-4 p.m. at the latest.
But here's the
Yeah,
thing. I'm going to
but it never happens,
spin
though.
zone this for you. If someone knows you got to drive, you have that card in your back
Yeah.
pocket of like, well, I suppose I better get going. I gotta get driving. Like, oh yeah, you don't want to be driving at night.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want to hit a deer.
But you know the Midwest goodbye. They know that, but then it's 2 hours later anyway, and then you're finally on the road.
Or if you're in a big group of people, you feel obligated to say goodbye to everybody. That's when that gets tough.
35 hugs.
Yes.
well, not anymore.
True.
At that point,
So hey, spin zone.
you kind of just plant yourself between those people and the door and just give them a quick wave and say, "Hey, it was great seeing you guys. See you next time. Have a great rest of your weekend."
Yeah.
And then dip.
Yeah, we've talked about this on that. We've talked about the
Yeah.
Midwest goodbye on here.
Yeah.
I couldn't disagree more. I think that if you know that you're only committing one day to this trip, is way better than 2.5, which basically turns into 3 days. So you can do whatever you want on Friday. You can do whatever you want on Sunday. You wake up, you feeling good. You can mow your lawn on Sunday,
Oh,
Ryan.
man.
So I think a perfect, not day trip, but weekend trip is you relax at your own house Friday. You leave Saturday morning. You spend all Saturday doing whatever. You stay Saturday night, get up and go Sunday morning.
Yeah, I mean that's ideal.
That's perfect to me because I hate the drive down Saturday morning, drive back Saturday night because you spend just as much time driving as you do spending time with the people you went to go see for the
But then
day.
it kind of ruins your
Sunday
Saturdays,
vibe.
your Saturday nights, knowing you have to go somewhere on Sunday.
Nah, not to me. Well, I'd rather just not have to leave on Saturday, just hang out on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a fine line for
Yeah.
sure.
It's
That's
tough.
Hey, that's a good number one.
Weekends are
Tyler.
tough.
God, why are weekends so
Wow,
tough?
weekends suck.
We should just work 7 days a week.
Yes, we're gonna end it right there. They said it. We're gonna clip that. We're gonna plaster that all over the internet. The employees are asking to work more days and more hours. I think Lakin's gonna want to kill you after you said that. So that is our top 3 worst things about the weekend. Throw in the comments. Let us know what you think sucks about the weekend. We're gonna take our last break. We're gonna close out this podcast. Guys, we've been alluding to it the entire podcast, but unfortunately, there will be no. Well, Big Ten is the only one, the big one that's canceled it. Has there been other big ones that have?
Pac-12.
Yep.
Pac-12, Big Ten, a lot of the Division 1 AA's,
Yep.
Division 2s, all of them. College football is essentially canceled.
Because there's no way the rest of the dominoes don't fall, right?
Yeah, I don't know. The SEC is going to be interesting.
How do they play bowl games? How do
They don't.
They just play a
Their
shortened
conference
schedule,
probably,
and
just have
then
a
And then
conference
it's the same
championship.
as always. Like they'll just pick the 2 highest ranked teams, but no one from the Big Ten will be in there.
Yeah, it's going to be a mess. I saw a meme. This is going to be a verbal meme, guys, of the guy who is on the bottom floor and then he puts his foot up 5 steps trying to step. And on the first step, it's let's maybe try and figure out a plan. Then the next step's let's just even take a moment just to think about a plan, whatever. And then the last one's just even consider thinking about coming up with a plan. And then it just says cancel the season. And about the Big Ten, that they literally didn't even try to come up with anything. And they just canceled it. I've also seen that, I don't know if Division 1's going to do it, but that they're going to be playing seasons in the spring.
yes,
Yep. D3 and D2 are doing that now.
How is that going to screw with not this spring season? Because I think it'll be fine. I think people will be excited about. But what about the next season, that there's no spring ball, or that it's basically you now just have only
Back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, 3 months to recover and do all of that.
So I think the biggest issue, I don't see that for the players being too big of an issue because they recover before spring ball, which is obviously not as demanding as a regular season. There'll just be a few more bumps and bruises. I'm curious to see how they handle recruiting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be. I think it might be okay.
Because when they do all that recruiting in the off season, so now they're going to do it in the preseason?
Well, now they're just doing it right now.
Yeah, but aren't high school sports all being suspended as well? High school football in Minnesota is now being played in the spring as well.
Well, think about how they recruit. Let's say, so they just basically have 2 spring recruiting sessions in a row now. So it's basically I feel like they're going to do the same thing. Question is, do they get to practice still?
Through that whole off season?
Do they get to practice this fall? I don't know. You should
don't know
maybe
either.
Google up on
Yeah.
that. But it's one of those things too where the COVID thing. So there's a lot of stuff for example, the XFL they declared bankruptcy because of COVID. Is this going to be kind of a cleansing of certain things such as the XFL, or does D3, D2 football not become as important because it's not going to be here this fall and other people are going to be doing other stuff during the spring? All this stuff of what are the actual impacts going to be when it comes down to this getting postponed and other stuff not getting as much attention, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's weird.
That'll be interesting. Where my head goes right away is the guys in college football who probably could have declared for the draft after last season, but didn't. They wanted to come back for one more year, and now they get stuck with this.
Yeah, it's a weird
Holy
situation.
smokes, they're missing out. Some missing out on millions of dollars, and now they're just going to be sitting around. Obviously still getting
that
workouts
sucks.
in, but how do you can you now declare for the NFL draft? How is that all going to work out?
Do you think that college football fans are going to come back even harder fans when it's back in the spring / the fall? Or is this going to be a negative impact? Are people going to lose interest because it's been so long?
Gosh, that's a great question. I don't know, because it could go either way. If you take something away from somebody that they love so much and you let them sit there and soak without it, you probably come back a lot more excited.
Yeah.
But at the same time, your fall time is set aside for football. You got other shit going on in the spring. So then do you have to postpone the things that you do in the spring to then take up your fall activity?
Well, what
again?
about March Madness? If they do March Madness,
Exactly.
there's going to be football going on at the same time. How do you choose? Which one do you go look at? It's the same thing with apparently the MLB playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, and the NBA playoffs are going to be all kind of at the same time. And
Yeah.
does it hurt ratings? Does it kill these TV stations that are maybe hanging on? What about, just think about how much money is not going to be made this fall that is that affecting that. So you're like, well, it's all about player safety, all that 100%. But at the same time, it's wild to think about how much money is not going to be made this fall because of COVID and what's going to be the actual effects of that.
Yeah. I have seen a couple things from a few big time coaches too, saying these kids are safer with us right now at practice doing whatever than they are if they were to just go home and run wild with their friends.
There maybe is some basically Division I football. For fall camp, they put the kids in the dorms for 2 or 3 weeks anyways.
Yeah.
And when you're in fall camp and when you're in football, you're not doing anything during the week. I remember when I was in college, it was during the week, you just basically went to some classes and it was football all day, every day. You didn't do anything else during the week. And then on Saturday nights after your game, you would go out with your buddies.
Yep.
Friday nights, you're not going out. At least if you actually care about playing, you don't.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just, it's an interesting thing to see what's going to happen here.
So I have a little bit of an update on the practice. The most recent article I can find is from pre-cancellation of the entire season, but they are only allowed to practice in helmets and shorts with no contact until the conferences deem contact.
So basically just running drills on air.
Yeah, and walkthroughs and stuff.
Holy crap. That's
Man.
the worst part about practice.
Yep.
Hey,
So
these receivers are just running routes all day long. Nothing else.
Does the ball count as contact?
What I will say about college football is these coaches are going to find every single loophole there is in getting practice done, getting work in. They're going to find any loophole they possibly can.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. It's going to be.
Well, it's kind of just
And I'm talking if there's no sanctioned practices that's allowed by the NCAA, they're gonna, I'm just gonna happen to leave this script of plays on my desk. It would suck if a player came in and took it from my desk and then ran some player-led practices and we happen to watch from our offices and we could see the field. If they want to get together on their own, that's their decision. Has no affiliation with us. But if that happens to happen, I can't do anything about it. We didn't tell them that they have to do that or that they should do it. Just so happens. And that shit like that's going to happen.
So I have a question for you guys. What are you going to miss most? Are you going to miss the tailgates? Are you going to miss those Saturdays where you sit and watch football all day? Are you going to miss going to the actual games?
I think it's yes to all that, but I think the thing I'm going to miss the most is the thing that keeps people coming back to college football is the electric, unexpected finishes and the upsets that you don't expect to happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, X player engineers a game-winning drive out of thin air. Or, it's just...
And any team can upset any team at any time.
Hail Mary for a touchdown.
Game goes into 6 overtimes.
Right.
Yep.
Like Duke is notorious for upsetting one really good team a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or the Iron Bowl when they take a return kick back for a touchdown
Yep.
for the win.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
that's when I'm gonna miss the stuff where you're in your living room, but you are literally like screaming at the TV and cheering and being excited. That's the stuff I'm gonna miss.
So
What are we gonna do? How am I gonna get that fixed?
You're going to bow hunt.
I'm starting to
you're gonna
panic.
bow hunt.
I'm gonna starting to panic a little bit.
The worst thing, I used to watch college football scores so closely in the bow stand.
Really?
Just keep tabs on it.
Oh, yeah.
And then just get out before the
I'll do that
Gopher
with
game.
the NFL on Sunday or whatever. 100%.
So from an NFL perspective, you know, you got the NBA players in a bubble. You got the NHL players in a bubble. You got the MLB players actually traveling from stadium to stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the approach the NFL is going to take? They can't just,
You can't bubble the NFL.
you can't
though.
bubble the NFL.
Teams are way too big.
They're doing a lot of that. I believe that they are tracking where they are and keeping. I don't know if they're staying in like a team hotel or whatnot, but they're doing some stuff like that, I believe.
So will they do individual bubbles for each team? So like the Vikings, for instance, during the season, they don't leave their bubble except for traveling to other stadiums.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because I don't think you can take all 32 teams and put them in a bubble. Because
No.
with a 54-man roster, that's way too many people, plus coach staff, plus
Yep.
broadcasters, plus the whole 9 yards.
So the reason why you can postpone college sports is you're not paying these athletes anything.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with professional sports is that there's guaranteed money that is going down. Even if I don't know all the logistics and maybe I'm wrong, but even the players that are opting out are making money.
Yeah.
So you have to pay, you're paying these players. And there's guaranteed money that has to come in. So you have to figure something out. And then that's why you see all the professional sports, in my opinion, still being played is because there is money involved and they are paying these players to do their job.
Yeah. Yep. And there's still guys that are opting out of just not even going to play at all. And they're still going to get paid.
So here's where I'm at. You talk about, let's say, Rob Gronkowski. He basically took a year off. He essentially opted out of his season
Yeah, because
to make his body feel better and mentally recover and all that. And you've already started to see stuff like that where they basically retire early, but then they come back or whatever.
Yeah, so why not opt out?
Le'Veon Bell
paid?
for holding out for an entire year. His body got so recovered. He's feeling so much better that he may have just boosted his career for another 3 years instead of, 3 times as long after, or something like that. Just that 1 year off.
Right. And it's not like that 1 year off, all they're doing is sitting around and recovering. They're honing skills. They're running drills. They're making sure, but they don't have any of that contact where they're getting beat up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's just like a Conor McGregor situation. I got to talk about the UFC.
Holy shit.
He's retired twice, but he's still training. He's not doing anything different.
And same with Floyd too. Mayweather.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then they give themselves the chance to make a lot of money because they're coming out of retirement for a super fight or whatever that may be. Similar situation to Gronk, Le'Veon Bell. I know Yoenis Cespedes for the New York Mets didn't show up for practice last week. No one knew where he was at, no contact, anything. They went and checked his hotel room. Everything was gone. He had secretly just opted out and completely left with no word before he was gone.
Well, that's just weird behavior.
I remember the internet just immediately assuming he was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were so many tweets about Yoenis Cespedes is dead.
Yeah.
What
No
a great
contact.
name, by the way.
Yeah.
Yoenis.
Is it Yoenis or Yenis?
Yoenis.
I don't know.
Yoenis
I think I get
Cespedes.
him and Giannis
Cespedes.
mixed up.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what NFL players maybe do something similar. It'll be interesting to see what college football
the
players.
opt-out deadline's over. They can't opt out anymore.
So now they have to stay.
Yeah, or they'll be like not get paid or whatever. It'd basically be like they didn't show up to
So,
work.
yeah, they could leave, but they're not getting any money at this
Gotcha.
point.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I believe so. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm sad, but like I said, I got to come up with a hobby. I got to come up with a hobby for the fall. Spring's going to be a wild time. not only going to have spring fever, you're also going to have college football rolling. It's going to be interesting. So I'm excited. Ryan, I want you to close out this podcast.
Guys, thanks again for listening into episode 79 of the You Betcha Radio podcast. We hope you enjoyed our 3 worst things about the weekend. As we started to dive into a little bit more, we kind of figured out the weekends are rough. Weekends are really rough. But we're going to go keep going about it. Enjoy our weekends. You guys do the same. And before we go, guys, remember the merchandise is wide open at oubetcha.com. Everything is there. The breakfast ball gear, the buzzing gear. It's all open. It's going to be that way for another week. So go check it out, oubetcha.com. Don't forget, we are streaming tonight the Nectar Cup Series Week 9 on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/oubetcha.
If you're watching on Facebook, it's right after this.
It's going to be immediately after this podcast airs. So head on over. Again, great place to interact with us in the chat. We typically get to just about every comment in the chat, and it's a good time. We'd also like to say thank you to Gina's Designs of the Heartland. Gina's Designs of the Heartland handcrafts, hand paints, all of our wood pine signs on our website. They go great in any man cave, any garage, any place. You're going to be enjoying a nice cold bouche latte. So thank you to Gina's. You can find them at etsy.com/shop/GDOT Heartland or on our website, oubetcha.com. Go check Gina's out. They've been sponsoring us for a long time now, and we appreciate the work they do for us. Miles, I don't know if I'm looking forward to the weekend yet. I think I'll get there again. I am Ryan, the T-shirt guy.
And I am Miles, You Betcha guy. May your ranch always be runny. Your bush lattes forever be cold. Cheers, Ryan.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's cold.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.